G'day everyone, Damien here from Integrity Property Education. If you're looking for property investment advice, property investment strategies or general property investment information, you've come to the right place. Today we're going to talk about the commodity curve, or what I call the property curve. Okay, first thing we need to understand about property is that it doesn't just go up all the time. If you think that's going to be the case, you're on drugs and you need to think about it totally differently. Now, the way it actually works is really relates to supply and demand. Quite simply, if supply is restricted or demand is increased, then we see prices go up. If we have an oversupply and a lack of demand, then we see prices go down. Cool. So how does that affect property prices? Well, every property cycle follows this commodity curve. Now, some people describe it as the property clock, but actually it's not a very good description because you're not really thinking about how the factors truly work. It all comes back to supply and demand. So, how does it work? Well, it starts when supply is equal to demand, i.e. the number of buyers is the same as the number of properties available for purchase. When that happens, the curve is basically flat. So we don't see any increase in price over time. Then something will trigger a boom, and then we'll see prices going up. Now, a boom can be triggered by one of two types of factors. Either an increase in demand or a drop in supply, or a restriction in supply. So, some examples of things that could increase demand. A major infrastructure project that starts and employs a lot of people that therefore need to move to that area. Or the completion of an amenity type infrastructure like a big shopping centre or a new railway station or something like that, which makes an area all of a sudden more appealing and therefore is attracting more buyers. They are examples of how we can see an increase in demand. A decrease in supply could occur due to geographical features such as water and swampy ground, but also we can see man-made features have a significant effect on supply. Things such as council zoning of areas, mining leases, Aboriginal land claims and the like can severely restrict the supply of land available for building and therefore put upward pressure on prices. So any of those things can trigger the boom. Then what happens during a boom is quite interesting. All commodities follow this curve, and when prices start to go up, whoever makes the commodity, be it houses or bananas or iron ore or coal, will start making more of that commodity, because with their profits, if they just keep their profits, they'll be taxed on it. So what they'll do is reinvest the profits back into their business and increase their production to try and sell more and make more money. Now, invariably, no one knows really what the limit of the new demand is, so they'll just keep making more and more and more until the demand is met. Then you get to the peak, and the peak is where supply now equals demand again. But invariably we will have oversupplied ultimately the market, because we won't stop producing more product, more houses, until the prices actually stop moving up. And when they start, or indeed go down again, so we have this sausage machine effect where building houses or any other commodity takes a lead time. So inside the sausage machine, you know, we've said go at one point and we've got to feed the rest of it through. What happens is that bit inside the sausage machine, when we finally turn the machine off or stop putting anything in the front end, still has to come through, and that oversupplies the market. We have a temporal oversupply of the market, and that sees prices drop. And this is what we call a correction. And then we go back into a flat period where supply equals demand again. So the four phases of the curve are flat, boom, peak and correction. Now, if you're a savvy property investor, you would know that that's going to happen. And at the end of every boom comes a correction. Now, today, tonight in a current affair, sensationalist media sources will seek to scare everyone and say the property bubble's going to burst and it's finally burst and the sky's falling in. That's not the case. If you're a mature, sophisticated investor, you will expect that at the end of every boom there will be a correction, maybe 5, maybe 10%. In some cases, it could be more severe if it's in a regional mining town area or something like that, and then the show will go on. But the key thing to remember is this: after the correction, the price point will still be much higher than what it was at the beginning of the last boom. So you're still in front. This is one of the reasons why good property investors never sell. Never sell. They never sell because if you play a short game and you're trying to trade in and out of markets, then you are susceptible to the curve. If you buy at the wrong point and sell at the wrong point, you can lose large amounts of money. But if you're taking a long-term view and you never plan on selling these properties at all, then these effects won't bother you because you will simply just ride the waves, and in 30 years time when you're retiring, 20 or 30 years retiring, you'll have made money regardless of what's happened. So this is why we don't sell. Now, if you're still wondering, how then do I get my money out of my properties, then you need to understand two things. First of all, you need to understand that rents go up and eventually your rents will far outstrip your cost of holding the property, and that surplus rent will become a passive income for you. And second of all, you must then understand financing. And there's nothing actually wrong with getting an equity loan from an investment property, using that increased surplus rent to then service that loan going in the future, pull 100 grand out of the property and use that for whatever you want. You might want to use it for a new investment property deposit, or you might just want to go on a round the world holiday. Remembering, of course, if you use it for personal reasons, you won't be able to claim the interest on that loan. But there's nothing wrong with actually doing that, because if you're never going to sell and the rents are going to keep going up, well then it will service the loan indefinitely and you'll be fine. So that's it from me today. Remember the curve. Now some people call it the clock. I don't like the clock. I don't like the clock because the clock doesn't really make any sense, but the curve does. So time and money, we've got a flat period, a boom, a peak and a correction. If you remember that, you're going to be much better off, your anxiety levels are going to be much lower, and you're going to make the right decisions with your property investments. Until next time, that's it from me today. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, don't forget to follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can find us on LinkedIn as well. Cheers.